I was saving for a house. My sister texted, I have nowhere else to go. I sent it. Later, I saw her at a rooftop bar, laughing. That's when my mom said, stop attacking her. And I realized. I didn't think it would ever get to the point where I'd stop talking to my own family. Not over money. Not over something that, in the beginning, felt so small. Ashley Thomas was always just there. Same holidays, same family dinners, same group chats that never really died. We grew up around each other in Columbus, close enough that it never felt like extended family. It just felt normal. She was the kind of person people liked easily. Loud without being annoying. Confident without trying too hard. When she talked, people listened. When she laughed, everyone noticed. I've never been like that. I'm the one who plans things. The one who remembers birthdays, keeps things organized, makes sure nothing falls apart. I don't like attention. I don't like drama. I just like things to make sense. Which is probably why I didn't question anything at first. Around 2 years ago, I started getting serious about saving. I was working full-time as an accountant, cutting back where I could, tracking everything. I had a number in mind. A down payment. Something realistic. I didn't talk about it much, but Ashley knew. It came up one night at a small coffee place downtown. Nothing dramatic, just casual conversation. She smiled and said, you're doing it right. I wish I had your discipline. That was the first time I remember thinking maybe we were just in different places in life. A couple weeks later, she texted me late at night. I hate asking this, but I'm short on rent. It wasn't a huge amount. A few hundred. She said she miscalculated, that she just needed help getting through the month. I didn't hesitate. I sent it. She replied almost immediately. Thank you. Seriously. I'll pay you back soon. I didn't even think about the pay you back part. It didn't matter. Then it happened again. Different reason. Same tone. My car needs repairs. I can't get to work without it. I sent money again. Then a medical bill. Then something else. It never sounded fake. That's the thing. It always sounded just real enough. Just urgent enough. And always temporary. And every time I told myself the same thing. It's fine. She'll get back on track. This isn't permanent. I didn't track how much I was sending. I didn't want to turn it into something transactional. It felt wrong to treat family like that. Months went by like that. Small amounts, spaced out, always with a reason. Then one night, everything shifted. She didn't text. She called. I remember looking at my phone for a second before answering. It wasn't like her to call unless something was actually wrong. Her voice was different. Not just stressed. Panicked. I'm behind on rent, she said. Like, really behind. I didn't say anything right away. My landlord's been patient, but he's not anymore. I don't know what to do. How much? I asked. She hesitated, like she didn't want to say it out loud. When she finally did, I felt it immediately. It wasn't a few hundred. It wasn't something small I could ignore. It was a few thousand. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the ceiling, doing the math in my head without even meaning to. That was a chunk of what I'd been saving. Not all of it, but enough to matter. I'll pay you back, she said quickly. I swear. I just need time. I don't have anyone else. That line again. I don't have anyone else. I remember thinking about how long it took me to save what I had. The overtime, the things I said no to, the small decisions that added up over time. And then I pictured her getting evicted. Okay, I said. There was a pause, like she didn't expect me to say yes that fast. Really? Yeah. I'll pay you back, she repeated. I know. I sent it that same night. After that, things felt different. Not immediately. Not in a way I could explain right away. But something shifted. The messages didn't stop. They just changed. They became more casual. Less apologetic. Hey, can you help me out again? Just a little this time. I'll get you back once things settle. I just need a bit more time. The urgency was still there, but the tone was lighter. Like it was becoming normal. I didn't say anything, but I started noticing things. Little inconsistencies. Timing that didn't line up. Stories that felt slightly off if I thought about them too long. I ignored it at first. I told myself I was overthinking. Then one afternoon, everything stopped making sense. I was on my lunch break, sitting at my desk, half paying attention to my phone while eating. I opened Instagram without really thinking. And there she was. Ashley. Dressed up, smiling, holding a drink with a city view behind her. It wasn't just the picture. It was the setting. A rooftop bar downtown. The kind of place that wasn't cheap. The kind of place you didn't go if you were behind on rent. At first, I thought maybe it was old. I checked the timestamp. Posted an hour ago. I sat there for a second, just staring at it. Then I clicked her profile. More posts. Recent ones. Nights out. Restaurants. Shopping bags. Posing in outfits that definitely weren't cheap. I felt something drop in my stomach. Not anger. Not yet. Confusion. Because it didn't match anything she'd been telling me. I locked my phone and sat there, trying to make it make sense. Maybe it was a one-time thing. Maybe someone else paid. Maybe there was an explanation I just didn't see yet. I didn't message her. I didn't confront her. I just watched. For the next couple of weeks, I paid attention in a way I hadn't before. Every time she asked for money, I noticed when it happened. Every time she posted something, I noticed that too. And the pattern didn't go away. If anything, it got clearer. She would text me about a problem, then post something that didn't match it. Over and over. That's when I realized I couldn't ignore it anymore. I didn't want to accuse her. I didn't want to turn it into something ugly. So I kept it simple. I texted her one night. Hey, can I ask you something? She replied fast. Yeah, what's up? I stared at the screen for a second before typing. I'm just confused. Some things aren't adding up. There was a pause. Then, what do you mean? I saw your posts. And I'm not judging, I don't understand what's going on. Another pause. Longer this time. Then everything flipped. What are you saying? I'm not saying anything. I just need clarity. Are you seriously watching my posts and questioning me right now? That wasn't what I expected. I'm not watching you, I said. It just came up. I'm just trying to understand. So now I have to explain myself every time I do something? That's not what I'm saying. It sounds exactly like what you're saying. I could feel the conversation slipping. I've been helping you, I said. I just need to know what's real. Wow. Just that. One word. Then she sent another message. I didn't realize you were keeping score. I stared at that for a second. I'm not keeping score, I said. You know what? This is exactly why I hate asking people for help. That hit harder than it should have. I'm not attacking you, I said. It feels like you are. That was the moment I knew this wasn't going to go the way I thought. And I still didn't realize. She wasn't just going to turn this on me. She was going to make everyone else believe it too. I didn't realize how fast things would flip. The conversation with Ashley didn't end in some dramatic blow-up. It just stopped. She didn't reply after that last message. No explanation. No clarification. Just silence. At first, I thought maybe she needed time. Maybe I pushed too hard. Maybe I should have worded things differently. I replayed the conversation in my head more times than I want to admit. Maybe I sounded accusatory. Maybe I shouldn't have brought up the posts. Maybe I should have just let it go. That's how I've always handled things. Keep the peace. Don't escalate. Fix it quietly. So I didn't text her again. I gave it a couple days. Then a week. Nothing. No messages. No calls. No, hey, like nothing happened. Just complete silence, like I had crossed some line I didn't even realize existed. And then the first call came. It was my mom, Sandra. I almost didn't answer because I was at work, but something about the timing felt off. Hey, I said, keeping my voice normal. What's going on with you and Ashley? She asked immediately. No build-up. No small talk. I sat up a little straighter. What do you mean? She said you've been pressuring her. About money. I didn't even respond right away. I thought I misheard her. Pressuring her? I repeated. Yes. She said you've been making her feel uncomfortable. Asking her for money back, questioning her, watching what she does. Watching her. That word stuck. That's not what happened, I said. Well, that's what she told me. I closed my eyes for a second, trying to stay calm. I asked her one question. That's it. Emily, my mom said, her tone shifting slightly. She's going through a lot right now. So am I said, before I could stop myself. There was a pause. Then, you're doing fine. That hit harder than anything else she said. Doing fine. Like that canceled everything else. I've been helping her for months, I said. I've sent her money over and over. I just asked what was going on because things didn't make sense. You shouldn't throw help in someone's face, she said. I didn't throw anything in her face. That's not how she feels. I felt something in my chest tighten. So you're just going to take her word for it? I'm saying maybe you need to give her space. Space. After everything. Okay, I said quietly. Just let it go for now, she added. Yeah, I said. Okay. We hung up. I sat there for a few seconds, staring at my desk, trying to process what just happened. It didn't feel real. Not just what Ashley said, but how easily it was accepted. No one asked me what actually happened. No one asked how much I gave her. No one asked anything that would have made them see the full picture. It was just decided. I tried to focus on work, but I couldn't. My mind kept going back to the same thing. She told them first. She controlled the story before I even had a chance to say anything. That night, I got a message from my aunt. Patricia. Hey, I heard things have been tense between you and Ashley. Tense. Like this was mutual. I'm not sure what she told you, I replied, but that's not what happened. She's been really stressed, she wrote back. She feels like you're putting pressure on her when she's already struggling. I asked her one question, I said. She said you've been tracking her, watching what she does, bringing up things she posts. Tracking her. That word again. I saw one post, I said. One. And it didn't match what she was telling me. That's it. There was a pause. Then, Emily, sometimes when people help others, they expect something in return. I stared at that message. I didn't expect anything, I replied. I just wanted honesty. She's being honest, Patricia said. She's just having a hard time. That was it. That was the line they were all sticking to. She's having a hard time. I didn't respond after that. There wasn't a point. A couple days later, my brother called me. Brian. Hey, he said. Mom told me what's going on. I already knew where this was going. It's not what you think, I said. I'm not picking sides, he replied quickly. I'm just saying, is it really worth it? Worth what? All this. Over money. I let out a short breath. It's not just money. Then what is it? I didn't answer right away, because I didn't know how to explain it in a way he'd actually hear. It's about being lied to, I said finally. He was quiet for a second. Maybe, he said. But if she's already struggling, pushing her isn't going to help. I'm not pushing her. That's just how it's coming across. There it was again. Not what I did. How it's coming across. Just let it go, he said. Seriously. It's not worth losing family over. I almost laughed at that. Not because it was funny. Because it was already happening. We hung up not long after that. And that was the moment something shifted for me. Not with Ashley. With everyone. Because it wasn't just that they believed her. It was that they didn't even try to understand me. I stopped explaining after that. Not all at once. But gradually. When my mom brought it up again, I kept my answer short. When my aunt hinted at it, I changed the subject. When Brian told me to move on, I just said okay. I didn't correct them anymore. I didn't defend myself. I didn't bring up the money again. And I didn't send Ashley anything else. She didn't ask either. That was the strange part. No follow-up. No, hey. No attempt to fix things. Just distance. Like I had served my purpose and now I was done. Family gatherings became different. I still went at first. Out of habit more than anything. Sunday dinners at my mom's house. Same table. Same food. Same people. But it didn't feel the same. Ashley was there most of the time. She acted normal. Laughing, talking, telling stories like nothing had happened. She didn't look at me much. And when she did, it was brief. Neutral. Like I was just another person in the room. No tension on her side. No discomfort. Just nothing. That bothered me more than if she had been angry. Because it meant she wasn't thinking about it at all. Meanwhile, I felt everything. Every conversation felt slightly off. Every glance felt loaded, even if it wasn't. No one brought it up directly anymore. But it was there. Underneath everything. I started going less. Making excuses. I'm busy. I have work. I'm tired. Sometimes it was true. Sometimes it wasn't. No one pushed too hard. Which somehow made it worse. Because it felt like they were okay with the distance. Like I had already been replaced in a way that didn't need to be said out loud. And somewhere in the middle of all that, I stopped seeing Ashley as someone I needed to understand. I started seeing her as someone I needed to step away from. Completely. And once that thought settled in, everything else became easier. Not better, but clearer. Once I stopped trying to fix things, everything got quieter. Not better, just quieter. There were no more arguments, no more messages from Ashley, no more subtle digs from family. On the surface, it probably looked like everything had settled. But really, I had just stepped back. Completely. I stopped checking her social media. I stopped asking mutual family members about her. I stopped trying to make sense of what she was doing or why she did it. It didn't matter anymore. What mattered was what I was left with after all of it. Less savings. Less trust. Less connection to people I thought would always be in my corner. And for the first time in a long time, I started looking at my own situation clearly. I opened my banking app one night and just sat there. Scrolled through months of transactions. Transfer after transfer. Different amounts. Different dates. But all going to the same person. Ashley. I didn't calculate the total right away. I already knew it was bad. I didn't need a number to confirm it. What hit harder wasn't the amount. It was how easy it had been for me to say yes every time. No hesitation. No questions. Just trust. I closed the app and set my phone down. That was the moment I stopped seeing it as something I needed to understand. And started seeing it as something I needed to recover from. Not from her. From my own choices. The next morning, I made a decision. I wasn't going to wait until I felt ready to rebuild. I was just going to start. I picked up extra work where I could. Stayed later at the office. Took on small side tasks that I would have ignored before. Nothing dramatic, just consistent. Cut back even more on things I didn't need. No eating out. No random spending. No, I'll just get this once. Everything had a purpose. At first, it felt frustrating. Because I knew exactly why I had to do it. And I knew I wouldn't have been in that position if things had gone differently. But after a while, something shifted. The focus moved away from what I lost, and onto what I was building again. And that made it easier to keep going. A few weeks into that routine, Jessica noticed. She worked with me at the clinic. Same schedule most days. She wasn't the kind of person who pried, but she paid attention. You've been staying late a lot, she said one afternoon while we were finishing up paperwork. Yeah, I said. Just catching up on things. She didn't push right away. Just nodded. A couple minutes later, she said, you don't look like you're catching up. You look like you're trying to fix something. I gave a small shrug. Maybe a little. She leaned back in her chair. You want to talk about it? I hesitated. Not because I didn't trust her. Because I wasn't used to saying things out loud. It's just family stuff, I said. She made a face. That usually means it's not just anything. I let out a quiet breath. I helped someone. A lot. And it didn't go the way I thought it would. That's a clean way of putting it, she said. I nodded. I'm just trying to move on from it. Are they still asking you for things? No. Are you still giving? No. Then you are moving on, she said simply. It sounded obvious when she said it like that. I didn't respond, but I thought about it for the rest of the day. Because she was right. I wasn't stuck in it anymore. I just hadn't accepted that yet. Time passed like that. Quiet. Steady. No big events. No dramatic changes. Just small progress. Then, slowly, things started to shift on the outside too. My mom started texting me more. Nothing about Ashley. Just normal things. How's work? Did you eat? Are you free this weekend? At first, I kept my responses short. Not cold. Just neutral. She didn't bring up what happened. Neither did I. My aunt reached out once too. Hey, we haven't seen you in a while. You should come by sometime. I replied with, I've been busy, but maybe soon. I didn't commit. I didn't avoid. I just kept my distance. Brian was the same. He sent a random message one day. You still alive over there? I replied, barely. He sent a laughing emoji. That was it. It was like everyone was slowly pretending nothing had happened. And part of me understood why. It was easier that way. No one had to admit they were wrong. No one had to revisit anything uncomfortable. Everything could just reset. Except it didn't feel like a reset to me. It felt like something had been removed. Something important. And no one was acknowledging it. A couple months into all of this, I met with a mortgage advisor. Daniel Moore. I almost didn't go. It felt too early. Like I hadn't rebuilt enough yet. But I went anyway. We sat across from each other in a small office, going over numbers. Income. Savings. Credit. He was straightforward. No pressure. You're not as far off as you think, he said after looking through everything. I frowned slightly. It doesn't feel that way. You've taken a hit, sure, he said. But your habits are solid. That matters more than where you started. I nodded, not fully convinced. If you stay consistent, he added, you can still hit your goal. It might take a little longer, but it's doable. That word stuck with me. Doable. Not easy. Not fast. But possible. When I walked out of that office, I felt something I hadn't felt in a while. Control. Not over what happened, but over what came next. And that mattered more. I didn't tell anyone about the meeting. Not my mom. Not Brian. Definitely not Ashley. This was mine. For the first time in a long time, something felt like it belonged to me again. And I wasn't going to let anyone touch it. Not this time. Not again. I didn't tell anyone when I started looking at houses. Not because I was hiding it. It just didn't feel like something I needed to share anymore. For a long time, I used to include my family in everything. Big decisions, small updates, random thoughts. It was automatic. That's just how things worked. But after everything that happened, that instinct was gone. So I kept it to myself. It started small. Just scrolling through listings at night. Comparing prices. Looking at neighborhoods I could realistically afford. Nothing dramatic. Just quiet progress. Then one Saturday, I went to see a place. It wasn't perfect. Small. A little outdated. But it was clean, in a decent area, and most importantly, it was something I could actually see myself in. I walked through it slowly, trying not to get ahead of myself. Living room. Kitchen. 2 bedrooms. Nothing impressive. But it felt steady. No noise. No chaos. No one asking me for anything. Just space. And for the first time in a long time, that felt enough. A few weeks later, I made an offer. I didn't tell anyone. Not my mom. Not Brian. No one. The process moved faster than I expected. Paperwork, approvals, back and forth. Daniel helped keep everything straightforward. No surprises. When everything finally went through, I sat in my car outside the office for a few minutes. Just sitting there. Not emotional. Not overwhelmed. Just quiet. Because this time, I didn't have to explain it to anyone. I didn't have to justify how I got there. I just did it. I moved in about a month later. The first night was strange. Not bad. Just unfamiliar. Boxes everywhere. No real furniture yet. Just the basics. I sat on the floor in the living room, leaning against the wall, looking around. It wasn't impressive. But it was mine. And no one could take anything from me here. That thought stayed with me. I still didn't tell my family. Not intentionally. I just didn't feel the need. If it came up, it came up. If it didn't, that was fine too. Eventually, it did. Not through me. Through someone else. Lisa Lopez. She ran into my mom somewhere, probably mentioned it casually. Emily bought a place, right? That's all it took. My phone started lighting up that same day. First, my mom. You bought a house? I stared at the message for a second before replying. Yeah, why didn't you tell me? I thought about that. Not in a defensive way. Just, honestly. I've been busy, I said. There was a pause. Then, I'm proud of you. I read that a couple times. Because I didn't know what to do with it. A few minutes later, my aunt texted. Just heard the news. That's amazing. You've always been so independent. Independent. That word again. It sounded like a compliment. But it also sounded like distance. Brian texted next. So when's the housewarming? I replied, still settling in. He sent, let me know. I'll bring food. It all felt normal. Too normal. Like nothing had ever happened. No one mentioned Ashley. No one mentioned the money. No one mentioned the way everything shifted months ago. It was just reset. And I didn't know how to feel about that. A couple days later, I finally heard something about her. Not from her. From Lisa. We ended up talking after work one evening, just catching up. She hesitated before saying it. I don't know if you've heard anything about Ashley. I didn't react. What about her? She's been having some issues, she said carefully. Like, real financial stuff. I stayed quiet. Debt. Missed payments. I think her landlord's situation got worse. I nodded slightly. There was a pause. I didn't want to assume you knew, Lisa added. I didn't, I said. And that was the truth. Ashley hadn't reached out. Not once. Not when things were going well. Not now. Just silence. I went home that night and sat in my living room again. Same spot on the floor. Different feeling. Because now everything had come full circle. All the things she used to say she was dealing with. They were actually happening now. And I wasn't part of it anymore. No calls. No messages. No, I don't have anyone else. Nothing. Part of me felt something close to guilt. Not because I had done anything wrong. But because I remembered how easily I said yes before. How quickly I stepped in. And now, I wasn't. But that feeling didn't last long. Because right behind it was something stronger. Clarity. I had already done more than enough. More than anyone even acknowledged. And when it mattered, no one stood on my side. Not my mom. Not my aunt. Not Brian. They chose what was easier to believe. And now, they were choosing what was easier to ignore. I didn't hate them. That's the part people expect. I just didn't trust them the same way anymore. And that changes everything. A week later, my mom asked if she could come see the house. I said yes. She walked through slowly, looking at everything. It's nice, she said. Really nice. Thanks. You did this on your own. Yeah, she nodded. There was a pause. Then she said, I'm glad things worked out. Worked out. I didn't respond to that. Because I knew what she meant. She meant things smoothed over. That everything settled. That the situation fixed itself. But that's not what happened. Nothing got fixed. I just stepped out of it. And everything else moved on without me. Later that night, after she left, I sat in the living room again. No boxes this time. Just quiet. And I thought about everything. About Ashley. About my family. About how easily everything shifted when I asked one simple question. And how quickly they all adjusted to a version of the story that didn't include me. I didn't get revenge. I didn't expose her. I didn't fix what they believed about me. I just stopped being available. And somehow, that was enough to change everything. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not even hurt the way I was before. I just see things clearly now. They chose her when it mattered. And now they're choosing comfort. Pretending none of it happened. Pretending we're all still the same. But I'm not. And I don't think I ever will be again. So this is where I ended up. Not in the life I planned, but in one I built anyway. And the truth is, I don't think I needed them to understand me. I just needed to understand what they chose. They chose what was easier. What was quieter. What didn't force them to question anything. And for a long time, I thought that meant I lost something. But standing here now, I don't think I did. Because I stopped explaining myself. I stopped proving things. I stopped being the one who carried everything just to keep the peace. And nothing fell apart. If anything, everything finally made sense. Ashley didn't need me anymore. My family didn't question her. And I didn't fight it. I just stepped back. And somehow, that was the first time I actually chose myself. I don't hate them. I just don't need them the same way anymore. And maybe that's the part that still feels strange. Because they think everything is normal again. They think this is just distance. But it's not. It's clarity. And I don't know if walking away quietly makes me weak. Or if it's the only reason I'm finally at peace.